Hey, welcome back to Month of Macross. So rather than each episode focusing on a particular Macross anime, I figured that today we'd take a look at a Macross video game. So if you've been watching this channel for a while, then you know the Sega Dreamcast is one of my all-time favorite consoles. So I was pleasantly surprised when I learned that there was a Macross game specifically for the Dreamcast. So let's not waste any time and pop that sucker in. So the opening credits, I'm really excited. This game is really getting me hype right now. So the game actually focuses on two of my favorite characters from the original Macross series. That being Maximilian and Milia Genius, the married interspecies couple. Max being human and Milia being a Zentradi, or Meltradi, the female Zentradi. You know, go watch the anime. Now, just a fair warning, this game was only released in Japan, and yeah, that means the entire game is in Japanese. So I'm not going to be able to do any translation for you, you'll just have to look it up for yourself. Fortunately, the menu is in English, so I can at least navigate and change my controller settings and start a new game. Alright, so it's time to do the first mission. Now, between each mission, you actually have to sit back and watch kind of a visual novel unfold between Max and Milia. And again, I don't know any Japanese, so you can skip through this, but I guess there's some interesting story going on here. If you've watched Macross 7 at all, then you kind of know that Max and Milia don't exactly get along all the time. So if you're familiar with the original Macross, after the space war ended between the humans and the Zentradi, mankind and their new Zentradi counterparts started building a fleet of space colonies in search of new habitable planets. But not every Zentradi was happy with this outcome, so it's up to Max and Milia to fight off some of these rogue Zentradi and restore peace to the outer rim of the galaxy. So in this game, Max and Milia actually form a super secret task force called Dancing Skulls. And since they're a super secret task force, they get their own special battleship. And as you can see from this cutscene, it's pretty awesome. Alright, let's just jump straight into this mission. Oh boy, where do I even start? So the controls. Oh. And no, this is not an issue with inverted controls. I grew up playing a lot of flight simulators, so inverted controls are second nature to me. It's the fact that the Dreamcast does not have a dual analog setup. You only have the one control stick, a D-pad, 4 buttons, and 2 trigger buttons on the back. So in terms of movement, you're stuck using the analog stick. And as you can see, your Valkyrie fighter does not exactly line up with the horizon, and it's really hard to get it back to that position. This game does aerial 360-degree combat. The catch here is you have to destroy all the enemy units within the time limit. Doesn't seem so hard, right? Well, if the controls weren't so damn confusing, I think it'd be a lot easier. You fire your gun pod with the A button, right? And then you lock on and you can fire up to 2 missiles. That's pathetic. Seriously? Macross is known for its missile swarms, so how come I only start off with 2 missile lock-ons? This is ridiculous. On the bright side, you can switch between Badroid mode and Gerwalk mode, but honestly, Gerwalk mode's kind of useless on this first level, and Badroid mode, you can't effectively aim in Badroid mode. You're just kind of stuck firing ahead of you, and you don't have as much freedom of movement as you would in the fighter mode. It's just really frustrating. So yeah, needless to say, I failed this first mission quite a few times. I finally figured out the controls a little better. Controlling your Valkyrie fighter still sucks with the analog stick. This could have been a whole lot better. Alright, so I beat the first mission, let's move on to the second mission. And according to the mission briefing, it's a canyon mission, so you've got to fly through the canyon before the time limit. So this time, let's go ahead and play as Milia. I could have sworn her Valkyrie fighter was red in the original series, but whatever. So yeah, the controls here don't help either, because you can't reposition your Valkyrie fighter in midair. And if you fly too high, it automatically kicks you out of fighter mode and puts you in Badroid mode and tries to lower you back to the ground. And unfortunately, in this mission, you can actually crash. Yeah, this mission was painful. I finally beat it, but alright, let's get on to the next mission. Oh god, this is laggy as hell. So the second part of episode 2, you have to take out an enemy base with just your Valkyrie fighter. Seems like a bit of fun at first, but then you remember that you can only lock on so many times. Yeah, you're going to be using a lot of missiles here. And it doesn't help that your gun pod is so damn weak. These targets here literally take a solid 30 to 60 seconds to blow up, and you can't even lock onto them with your missiles. Meanwhile, you're getting bombarded by laser fire and missiles from the destroyed mechs, and these enemy turrets are constantly aiming at you. It's just non-stop. And if you somehow manage to get past all the lag and poor aiming controls, you get rewarded with Episode 2, Part 3, which basically serves as a boss fight. And if you manage to survive that, you actually unlock a third character. So at first I was confused what Macross M3 stood for, and I think I figured it out, because you've got the 3 characters here, right? You've got Max, you've got Milia, and if you successfully beat Episode 2, Part 3, you are introduced to their adoptive daughter named Mona Mia. If you stick with the game a little longer, you actually unlock several new Valkyrie fighters. And I must say, these Valkyrie fighters do look pretty cool, and for that, we have to thank Shoji Katamori himself for stepping in and designing some of the mechs in this game. So I eventually figured out what was making this game so frustratingly hard. So you see in the bottom left corner here, there's these things called action points. So the game doesn't come out and explain what exactly these action points do. Now, I guess you could say it's my fault because I don't know Japanese. Maybe they explain it at some point, I don't know. But I went ahead online and read a walkthrough. Apparently, you can spend those action points on combos, and those combos will automatically lock on missile swarms and even deploy flares to get missiles off your tail. But that about sums it up, really. So if you got a Dreamcast or a Dreamcast emulator and want to play some Macross, you can always go play Macross M3. However, just be prepared for the controls. They're kind of a letdown. Anyways, I think that'll do it for this episode of Month of Macross. Take it easy, have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time.